Welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to be taking a dive into TikTok and Instagram and seeing what is on my feed today. It's really good mobility. Yeah, I love seeing videos like this. Just raw power, speed under the bar, and a lot of this is like high schools. You see kids doing this where their whole team is standing around them, just like gassing them up. It's the best. So I love seeing videos like this. The technique is not great. This is like, some people call this like a thrower's clean.
You know, from the context of someone watching this, and there's a lot of throwers and a lot of people asking, because the thrower thing has come up a lot, to be fair.
Yeah.
A lot in the comments. You don't really need to do this, but the weights they're using are so obnoxiously large it gets an effect. But for everyone else, the weights in between would be very, very difficult to get productivity from.
And the risk.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
He's really just kind of like swinging it and using that hip hinge, and then just snapping under it. Really good mobility in the squat too. Triple bounces the hole and just blasts up, right? So a lot of that is guts, where he's just wants it bad enough, you know.
Your lower back stronger with this drill.
Pull with a twist. Go. Half that. And quarter that off. Change.
Yeah, so like you see stuff like this all the time. It's like, what is the application? Like, sure, is that, you know, using some dynamic trunk control in there.
Dynamic trunk control. So we would be doing something like a snatch if we're looking to train our core through dynamic movements.
Are you building some resiliency in weird planes of motion? Yeah, I mean, I think there's some value to it, but like, we're talking about bang for your buck, and like people put this kind of stuff on the internet because they want to. It looks funny. Not saying it's not useful, but like, I also wouldn't look at this and be like, oh, how do I add that into my training? You know, how often should I be hitting explosive, weird back extensions with a twist with holding a plate on a GHD? So like, I think there's a time and place for some things like this, and this is more like a one-on-one kind of situation if someone specifically needed that. But the problem with the internet is like, people will see this and then they'll be like, oh, well, I'm not doing enough of those. When do I add that in my training, right?
Basically, the pull-up is the sumo deadlift of weighted calisthenics, and I'll explain you why. In order to get my chin over the bar with a pull-up, it requires around 80 degrees of adduction. To achieve the same range of motion with the chin up, I need to pull 120 degrees of shoulder extension. So we're just changing the movement plane. I could say 40 degrees of range of motion. And that, my friends, makes the pull-ups the sumo deadlift of weighted calisthenics.
No, it doesn't. I don't quite understand what he's saying, to be honest. I don't get how a pull-up would be a sumo deadlift. A lot of the reason that people don't like sumo deadlifts is because of the range of motion. So I guess that's what he's saying, is that, you know, with a chin up, you have an increased range of motion over the pull-up. Maybe, but like, the way that you're developing those pulling muscles is way different, and you know, having a pronated grip is always going to be more challenging.
The hidden secret of how
Tornado.
this spinning technique allows you to
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I actually just got one of these, making a video on this, so stay tuned for that.
3 calisthenics skills everyone can learn. The first one is a crossdown. The crossdown, make sure your knees on your elbows and your shoulder past your fingers. Second one is elbow lever. Go wide, elbows on your stomach. Stay nice and solid. Lean forward, take the legs off. And then from here, you can get them together. Third one is L-set. Bring books or anything to elevate you from the ground. From here, you can start with the knees. You can go into one foot or one leg off, and then both feet off. Just make sure you stay nice and tall. Don't be here. Just nice and tall.
I'd also recommend trying to push your hips through your hands. That kind of helps you keep your feet up a little bit. Calisthenics is super cool. Controlling your body weight is really important. Calisthenics is super cool. And I think that it does have a lot of value. I do think that, along the same lines as what I was talking about earlier, like it looks cool on social media. How many people are actually practicing calisthenics primarily as their form of fitness? Like, I don't think a lot. I don't think that you can get absolutely everything that you would need to be well-rounded in fitness from just calisthenics. Obviously, it's kind of not the point. So as far as like just saying, hey, I'm going to, look at this as something where I'm getting education on fitness or getting motivation on fitness, I think that, this kind of thing for most people is a little bit much and doesn't really, won't really help all that much. But for someone that's in calisthenics, this might be, exactly the right thing for you. Craig Ritchie. Strong. He lifts well. He just looks a little slow to turnover. Yeah, he just looks like he could rack it a little quicker. Same thing with the snatch. Lockout on the jerk is a little sketch. Really strong though. 6 of 6 is good. Yeah. Yeah, like it just looks kind of slow to that catch. That's all I'd say. Super strong off the floor. I love his first pull. Like he really loves that first position very well. I don't know him, but I would assume the jerk is probably what he struggles with the most. I could be wrong.
There you go. Come on.
Strong legs. Yeah, like little sketchy on the jerk, but overall really good. Let's take a look at TikTok. There's usually some garbage on here.
9 months straight and got weaker. Here are 2 videos nearly a year apart of me doing as many reps of 225 as possible. Now here's what I look like on both of those days respectively. Over this time, my priorities in the gym have changed a lot. I used to want to move as much weight as possible and look like a human mountain of mass. In fact, my favorite photo of myself at the time was this. Now I prefer to live at a lighter weight, and I care more about how I feel and what I look like than the amount of weight on a stack. Now I'm not trying to tell you that the weight that you can lift means nothing, or that it means everything. But I'm happy that I lifted for 9 months straight.
Yeah, so everybody goes to the gym for different reasons. I think that's a lot of the big complaint about CrossFit is more a misunderstanding of what we're trying to do. So the point of CrossFit is to be good at everything, right? To be prepared for the unknown and the unknowable. The point of bodybuilding is to make the muscle look a certain way. The, big difference between bodybuilding and, what most people would say is like typical gym stuff versus something like powerlifting or weightlifting or CrossFit. We're just much more on the what can your body do end of things, not what does your body look like. So I personally prefer that end of looking at health and fitness, because if you're always just obsessed with the way you look and what's going on, you kind of get this, body dysmorphia, and that tends to happen to a lot of people as they start to get more into going to the gym. So I think that there's a reason for everyone to be in the gym. And I also think that, just like this guy said, that reason can shift over time. I don't think you have to say, oh, I'm a bodybuilder, and so, that's all I ever do. Or I'm a CrossFitter, so, I can't do anything that's low intensity. It's really, what do you like to do? What type of fitness do you enjoy? And what's going to keep you healthy and happy and coming back for more the next day? If that's bodybuilding, great. If that's CrossFit, great. If that's powerlifting, great. You have to find what's going to work for you in the long run over time. So that's it for this one. If you want to work with me personally, send me some videos and get coaching on your technique, join my online community, school.com/technique team. Love to see you there. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you liked it, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next one.